Right, this is a standalone video about the wall. I've been putting sort of bits and pieces of the wall video, or the rebuilding of this wall, into my other videos on YouTube, and I thought, you know what, actually it deserves a video on its own, really. So Nige finished this earlier in the week, and here it is. It's a lovely length here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put in the bits and pieces I filmed over time, like from when it was sort of falling down or rubble on the floor to when he was rebuilding it. And then I'm going to, at the end of this video, we're just going to have a look at where it is now it's finished, because it is quite a work of art in my opinion. Okay, and not everyone gets a chance to see this sort of thing. So here we are right from the start. Let me spin you around and we'll see a bit of devastation. Oh dear, there's the farmhouse, looking beautiful. And there is what's left of part of the wall. Shh. Oh dear. Right, let me explain. So, very fortunate to live in this lovely farmhouse here, built in 1600. Been in the family 200 years, so it's our family's 200th year in this house. Not a little one on the end, which my dad built when he got married in 1966, but the main farmhouse. 200 years our family lived in that house, and I'm the next caretaker of it, custodian if you like. I don't ever feel like I'm owning, I'm just looking after it for the next generation. I'm sure this wall here is the same age as the farmhouse. So we got a 400-year-old wall here, sort of built with really nice stone. Actually, it's all nice. If you're a builder, you'd appreciate this. It's nice face stone, good size. Look, good square pieces here. Nice lumps there. Look, but look at the lean on that. Can you see that? So, for 400 years, that wall stayed upright until about 3 years ago. I think my mum was still living in the farmhouse then, and I came down one morning, looked out in the garden, and the flipping wall had gone. My job at the moment is a rescue mission, because you see what's happened. Look at the lean on that. What's happened? The wall has been leaning for a while. I didn't even notice it was that bad, and then eventually it's gone like that. So what you've got is a sandwich. You've got the side stones, the facing stones there. You've got this rubble in the middle, which they use for packing. Look, that's no good, that's packing stone. And then you've got the facing stone again, out that way, the building stone. So what I'm doing is I'm gradually going through that, working my way along. I've already started, look, and I'm sorting it. That is the packing in the middle. That's going to be safe for reuse. This is the builders, look. If you like stone, which I appreciate, look at that, that's a lovely cut stone there. Someone's made the effort on that. I haven't come out of the ground like that, you know, because they've done it. Look, there's another one, nice flat one there. Look, nice stone that is, beautiful. Another one there, look. So I'm basically sorting, look, that whopper there, sorting it, and also the toppers. Separating the toppers out, look. These are the toppers, they packed them in. Look at that. These are the facing stones. Let's just break that up. Held together with lime mortar. Right, let's just get these. These are the filler stones, you don't need to worry about them. But it saves you mortar if you put those in. And you don't want huge dollops of mortar in the middle. Right, that one should have a flat face, or a reasonable flat face. Isn't too bad, is it? See? And then you got a bit more filler. And I was sort of talking about having a go at doing it myself, and realistically I realised this was a bigger job than I could tackle with the time I've got on the farm, and realistically as well I probably haven't got the skill that was required to get this looking good. So we got the man who has got the skill. Here's Nige. I've known Nige a long time, haven't I? You did relief milking for us when I was a young lad.
That's right, nearly 44 years ago.
I'm going to come over here a minute. Let's have a look. So I'm interested in this wall because it's very, very old, isn't it? You've seen plenty of walls like this, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
I mean, sort of like, what's the traditional way they've built it then?
Well, it's just 2 skins with rubble in the middle. So they chuck all the rubbish in the middle just to bolt the wall out.
Yeah, and it's sort of a lime mortar, isn't it?
It is, yeah, which is what we're going to
build it. You're doing that back with it. But it's a nice stone, isn't it? I mean, it's sort of cut, really, isn't it? I mean, considering it's a 400-year-old wall, it's done all right, isn't it?
I know, and the stone's quite common to Rangeworthy rather than Titherington.
Yeah, this sort of stone here, you mean?
You know, it's got the red colour in it.
Yeah.
Which is more common.
Oh, that's. I mean, you've seen that. It's a Rangeworthy stone, is it?
Yeah.
You think? So you think that's probably come from that way?
Yeah, and I think it was probably easier to quarry in those days than the stone here, because it tends to be layered, so they can split it.
Oh, okay, so like that. So I mean, it's quite incredible when you think about it. It all came in on a horse and cart, didn't it? All manual labour. It's amazing, isn't it?
Or it was dug out of your field.
Probably that's where the pond was. Probably to get out there. So we got you've taken a long section down. The reality is you've got to take more down than you think, haven't you? Because as you can see here, look at the lean on that. I know you can pick that up on the camera. I can see it now, Nige, just because we were talking about this earlier. Jesus, it's not much of a straight line, is it?
No, it's not safe.
I mean, the reality is this was the pit that went, and you think, oh, it's not too bad, but there's no point in doing an upright piece here and then having that bit on the wonk, is there?
No, not at all.
But it's quite a skill. How long have you been walling for?
Too long.
Too long. You've done a bit, haven't you?
I've done a little bit.
I drove around the village and spot you various places fixing people's walls. So we'll see how the progress goes with this. I mean, I'm just going along here. Any gold?
No gold.
No gold. That bit's, that's where you're stopping. That's the upright bit, isn't it?
That's right.
That isn't too bad there, is it?
No.
Right. So we'll have a look at progress when it goes. And this is the rubble fill, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see there, and then the bigger stones piled up over here and on the edge here. These are I mean, that's quite a piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christ, they didn't make life easy for themselves, did they? They went for big bits, didn't they?
Yeah, some big old stones in
there. You know? Because they could have done it with smaller, couldn't they?
Consider it was just a bouncy wall, that.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. It's a boulder, isn't it?
Mm.
Flipping that poor blokes. No wonder they all died so young. They knackered themselves out, didn't they? Right, I won't hold you up, Nige. Thanks very much.
Right, Richard, cheers.
Right, we're doing wall update. Nige has been cracking on. Early morning, there he is. Hey! I told him to do his hair and makeup. Let's go see how he's getting on. Hey? Nige, how's it going, mate?
Steady.
You got on pretty well, haven't you? Despite the weather.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The weather's held us up, isn't it?
Yeah. But, I'm pleased how you got the stonework. As you said to me earlier, you're trying to blend in the big stuff with the little stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. So it looks more natural rather than having a clump of big stuff and a clump of small stuff.
So what are the issues you've got to face with doing a wall like this then? What's the most important thing you're going to worry about?
Keeping a customer happy.
You're doing so well. You're doing so well.
Yeah, we'll just make it look natural.
And to blend in with what was there before, which is quite difficult really, isn't it?
Yeah, because you're not setting your own pattern up, you're just copying somebody else's style.
Yeah.
Somebody else's.
Have you got a Nige Newman style? Hey? I mean, the thing is, it is interesting, isn't it? Because every you go, I mean, you probably got the same eye as me. When you go round, you see different styles of stonework, don't you?
Yeah, the way people have laid it, the materials they use.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people use soft sands, which are easy to lay.
Right.
But they won't last.
Right. I mean, the durability of this wall's amazing, really, isn't it? When you think it's done 400 years.
Yeah.
You can't complain about that. What's your warranty on this then, Nige? Is it 400 years?
As soon as the check's cleared. And half your listeners won't know what a check is anyway.
No, I know, that's the trouble, isn't it? You know? It's looking good, mate. I'm really pleased. It's going well.
Good.
I'm just glad to get it back up. Right, I won't hold you up. We'll have a look at it when you've finished. Don't forget, Nigel, I want you to put your name and date on it.
Yeah, I will, Rick.
Here we go, look. That's nice looking stone. Well, the thing about it I like is you've got to brush the joints out. When you see some people, they leave all the cement over the joints, over the stone, and it looks messy. But if you brush it out, you get that kind of look, which is much nicer. And once this is weathered in, the cement will blend in with the stone. At the moment, it's obviously, you can see the stonework and you can see the mortar, but once it gets old like that over there, you can't really see the difference. Right, that's shut up and parked up. And just see it, I'm watching Nige over there. He's over there building the wall. We'll go and see him, see how he's getting on. We're back at the wall. We got celebrity builder Nige Newman in the back there. He's spotted around in the back. We're going to have a chat with him in a minute. But we're actually at, which is quite exciting now. I didn't do any other videos about this apart from the one I did at the start where we're just building up. But Nige is at topper level now. I think they're called toppers. We'll have a look, chat with them in a minute. So it's a blooming high wall, really. So we've got a layer. Let me just go along here. You can just see we've got a layer of what they call toppers. This is all covered in ivy. That's got to come off. But look, they randomly put these big slabs of stone along the top, upright. This is actually, these bits have been patched by my dad years ago, probably because they were sliding off. And these are the topper stones. Look, they're big things, quite skinny. Some of them are anyway, and they just go one after the other in a line. So we're on the stone here. I'm going to go and have a chat with Nige and see where we're at. He's been. I'm going to film. Let me film you putting a bit of cement on. I haven't done that yet. Hey, you don't. It's hard. So that's the old mortar, isn't it? That's a sort of limey. It's almost gone to dirt, isn't it? It's crumbled to nothing.
Because it is full of dirt.
Yeah. Well, all the dirt over the 400 years coming in. But it's looking good, Nige. I noticed you knit back at night, don't you? Quite often. So why do you knit back at night? Tell me what your strategy is on building this wall.
Well, because I'm building it with lime, it slows it from going off as well. Because its lime goes off and it oxidizes as opposed to a chemical reaction, which is what concrete does. Yeah. So I come back and it's just going off, and I can brush it up. So you're waiting for the optimum moment to sort of get the mortar out, really. Yeah. I mean, yesterday when it rained all day and we managed to keep going, I could come back this morning and it was still. It was still pliable, good enough to sort of scratch up and brush it up. Of course, if you leave it too late, it goes very white. Yeah. I was talking about this. The actual brushing out of the mortar is quite important, isn't it? It is in my mind, because that gives the finish, doesn't it? Really? Yeah, that's right. I mean, sticking the stones down is easy, but it's just what you see, isn't it? It's a bit like painting, isn't it? Well, it is, isn't it? However good you do the job, if the painting's rubbish, then... Well, people are looking at this and judging, and they've been very complimentary so far. Well, I think it's a great job. I mean, it's lovely, isn't it? I mean, you've got years of experience, and it shows, doesn't it? One thing that someone commented about is the dry stone wall, and it's not really a thing in this part of the world, is it? Not so much, anyway, is it? Different stone. Is it? Yeah, well, the dry stone wall is always small, thin, Cotswold stuff you can cut with a trowel. Right. This stuff is rock hard, as you know. It is, isn't it? I mean, this goes off down to Hinkley Point and everywhere, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So you wouldn't dream of building a dry stone wall with this sort of stone, then? No, just fall out. There's no flat surfaces. Yeah. I mean, you can get away with it by using a bit of sand and cement amongst it and just brushing it out as you go. Yeah. You just build it with sand and brush it out to level the wall up, but it's not for this. My dad built a lot of stone walls, and he never even considered doing dry stone round here. Like I said, it's regional, isn't it? Stone, it is. And it's very noticeable, the style, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, what Mr. Dyson's done up there is wonderful. Oh, he's done an amazing job, hasn't he? If you go up on the edge of the Cotswolds, see why he's rebuilt all those. Yeah, it must have cost a fortune. Yeah. Fair play to him. He didn't have to do that, did he? No, that's right. That's right. A bit like me rebuilding this. Didn't have to do it, but my mother would never let me off. Just could have put a panel fence up, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, I could have, or another gate. That's a cheat, isn't it? Oh, yeah, well, I want it done right, because if this has lasted 400 years, I want this to last another 400 and someone else. It's my turn to look after this place.
Good on you.
So let's have a look along here then. Look. So we'll be popping back here. We'll catch Nige when he's putting the toppers on. But we are literally on the line here. You can see the line where it is. This is the level of the top, in line with along there. And we'll be looking at this again when the toppers are on. Right, thanks Nige.
Cheers, Richard.
There you go. So interesting to see that wall progressing, isn't it? I must admit it's not cheap, and you know, fair play, Nige is charging what the going rate is, but the interesting thing is, and this is what people like Muller and that don't think about, is that whatever it costs me on that is coming off the bottom line of the farm. So the milk you buy, in just paying for the milk, is paying for my cattle to graze, but it's also paying for jobs like that. And no one costing things like that, do they? Because that's a historic wall that is part of the whole building work of the farm. I'm not willing to let that disintegrate and leave that falling down, but that comes off of the profits of the farm, which you kind of like, you wouldn't ever think about, would you? If you're producing something, you don't think about the upkeep of a historic item on the farm, but it's got to be paid for somehow. So yeah, so when you buy British foods and stuff, you're not just paying for my wages and cattle feed and straw and things like that. You're paying for the upkeep of historic England, if you like, as you just see there, which is, don't you think it's worth doing? That price of a pint, it's got to be worth doing, isn't it? Right, let's crack on. We're back again with another edition of Nige the Builder. You've heard of Bob the Builder, we got Nige the Builder. I bought you a nice lolly, Nige.
Oh, good man.
Hey, I know you. I'm always holding you up coming here, but so I thought I'll bribe you with a lolly. It's pretty warm out here as well, isn't it?
6 o'clock.
There you go. Is it 6 o'clock? Dogs here. Right, we're on toppers now. This is looking ace, isn't it? What a relief to get these back up. There's some big hefty ones as well, aren't there?
They're huge, Richard.
That one is. Look at these. I can remember climbing over these as a boy, and they were loose, and you were dicing with death climbing over these, because they'd wobble as you climbed over, and you don't want one on your foot. Well, they're nice and close, just like they should be. Just going to have a look around the other side a minute. There we go. Got a better view from this side. It's actually lower. The ground's lower this side than the garden. You can see. Let's just go and have a closer look. This is what we got left over. This is the leftover pile. Big stones still in here. Little middle filler stones here. And all sorts of stuff that the Nige has sorted through. There's definitely a drop from that garden, isn't there?
Sorry?
Definitely a drop from the garden,
yeah.
Garden side to this side.
A good foot, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost like they've used that to bank up the garden when they built it.
Yeah.
So when I look at this again, we'll have this all finished. I've got to go mowing tomorrow, so I don't know whether I'll get out here to see Nige doing the final cap off. You were saying earlier, wasn't it? It's not easy when the stones are this close, is it? Because the muck sort of can't get down in the middle.
Yeah, you can bed them on the muck, but you can't launch some muck up to throw the water out, because the water can tend to hang in there, and then it freezes and goes the wall. But I try my best to put some sort of a slope on it, you know.
It seemed to work pretty well on the last wall, didn't it?
Yeah.
It lasted long enough, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's joined in well, because if you look along the rest of the wall, it's fairly straight and upright.
It's just that belly there.
Yeah, it's just but not bad really, is it?
No.
And this is going to be, I mean, this is the worst bit of the wall. It was the worst bit of the wall on the farm, so on the garden wall. So definitely going to be a good job, right? It's
unusual because you've got that wall all the way down there, haven't you? Which is quite unusual.
So my dad built that.
Yeah, it's unusual to have.
Oh, that one over there.
To have walled fields, isn't it?
Yeah. So over there, yeah. So that wall was rebuilt by my dad in the late 70s, and he'd nip out in the evenings and do a bit of walling every evening. And there's, I think, if we go right round, there is sort of rubble in that wall line there. So whether there was a wall down there at one time, in which case the top of this orchard would have been walled all round, I don't know.
Yeah, but, in parts of the country there's just walls everywhere.
Yeah.
Not down here.
Yeah, once you get away from the farmyard here, that's the last bit. But there used to be a saw pit over there as well.
A what?
Saw pit, where one man used to be in the bottom of the pit with those big long two-handled saws.
Oh yeah.
There was a saw pit there, my dad said. I'd never remember it, but he said there was one there.
So did they do some timber work?
They're sawing a lot of wood. I mean, the amount of timber they probably need on a farm for different things, even if you're making rails or something.
Yeah.
Back in the day, before chainsaws and easy life. Right, I won't hold you up, Nigel. You better eat your lolly.
All right, I will.
I'll leave you to it, mate. Thank you.
Much.
Might see you tomorrow, depending whether I'm here or whether I'm mowing.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll just give everyone an update of your handiwork when it's finished.
Okay.
There we go. That was Nige the other day building or finishing off the toppers. So we're just going to have a look at the wall now in its finished state, because I'm very pleased with it. Here we go. So we're going to walk along here. So this is from the garden side. You might appreciate it was higher. We're higher ground above here than the other side. Quite strange, really. There's quite a drop down there. So let me just see. I'm up to my chin height roughly on this wall. It's about 5 foot to the top on the toppers. So there we go. There was a lime mix in with this. It's liming with the mortar, which is giving it a bit of its white colour, but that will actually blend in and weather. And you can see the weathering on the stones already from where we've reused the stones. The lichen is already on the outside of the stones, and he's remortared those in. So there's a good length along here. We're going to go right along here, look, where he's segued into the old wall just there. But the interesting thing about these toppers on here, they're slightly different than the ones on the other side of the garden, in the fact that these are all very closely spaced. And he was saying to me it's not easy getting the cement in to make it watertight, because there isn't a lot of gaps between, look, very tight. But that's how they were done on this side of the wall, this side of the garden. If I just turn around, we can see the 400-year-old farmhouse. On the wall over there, look at that, the toppers are different style altogether. They've gone little stone, big stone, little stone, big stone, which makes me think that that is slightly newer. Well, actually it is. I'm just going to go around the orchard side, and then I'm going to show you the other wall on the other side of the farmhouse, because there's a couple of interesting stories with it, which probably explains why it's slightly different style over there, because that is a bit newer for a good reason. Right, I'm just going to go over the garden gate. Whew. Dog won't be happy about not coming out here. And we'll have a look at this side. I've taken all the old rails and gates that we had protecting it. These are the old gates I was using as a barricade to stop the cows getting in. Now we get a better view from this side, don't we? That's quite a run of wall. And there you can see we joined in. At some point I might have to come and do a few bits of patching with the mortar. You can see over the time the mortar is weathered out, look, because lime mortar is a bit softer than cement, and the join in there, it's weathered out. But this is lovely, isn't it? Don't you think? I actually love looking at this. It's a lovely run. I mean, that is a work of art, in my opinion. Don't you think? Looking at the skill involved in doing that, to create something like that. I'm oh, there's an apple just fallen off a tree. I am a man of the old school, really. I'd rather seen stone buildings and that sort of thing on a farm than the modern concrete buildings. We got to have the modern stuff, haven't we? If you look over there, look, that shed we put up the other year, the roof there, steel and girders and stuff, and the breeze blocks underneath, completely practical, and the buildings behind there, steel and concrete and stuff, massively practical. But if you pan round to the style of the stone and everything like that, you know, in the day when my dad was a boy, there weren't steel and concrete buildings, and every farm was just made up of these lovely old stone buildings. A lot more idyllic, darling buds of May, really, isn't it? But you know, the modern world's moved on, hasn't it? But you've got to appreciate something like that. But you've also got to think realistically. This is what you're, and I said this on Facebook, this is what you pay for when you buy a British product, dairy product or beef or cereal or bread or whatever. You're not just paying for that food to be produced, you're also paying for the upkeep of that business, and in my case looking after these old buildings that I've inherited. And I didn't have to do that wall. I could have put some breeze blocks there, I could have put a fence there, because let's face it, who sees it? You see it on YouTube if I share it with you, but the majority of people don't know that's there. But for me, it's all about the heritage and keeping it right. Look at this. This is just, look at this. This 400-year-old wall here. Look at that. Look at that. 400 years ago, someone built that. 420 actually, if you want to be precise. Anyway, dog, how you doing? Right, let's have a little gap. I'm just going to walk down the lane and we'll have a look at the other bit, the other wall, and I'll just tell you a couple of tales. Right, I'm down the bottom of our drive now, and we're at the outside of the garden wall for the other side of the farmhouse garden. And this bit here, it looks quite new, doesn't it? In the same way as Nigel's is new. You just notice it's a bit more weathered, but it is new. And there's a big section along here that's all been rebuilt. Well, you can see that underneath that magnolia. Well, the reason for that being rebuilt is back in about the early 90s, the milk tanker came down the drive, and there's a ditch here, and he just must have caught the front wheel in the ditch. Probably in the winter, the ground was soft. The tanker went over, and of course, once the milk in the tank goes, all the weight goes over to one side, and the tanker went down in the ditch and took out that wall. Now I can remember 30 years ago that cost £13,000 to rebuild on the insurance, and it was also the first time I'd ever seen anyone with a laptop. The insurance assessor who came here, they had a laptop, and I remember thinking, blimey, that was early 90s, first laptop I'd seen. There you go. I knew they were about then, it wasn't like I didn't know they existed, but it's just no one was really using them. Right, and we're walking on now. So from that raised bit of wall, I've mentioned this before in another video, this lower section here, can you see? The wall suddenly drops down here. And there's a reason for that. This section here was rebuilt in World War II. In fact, you can actually see a difference in the cement. You can see a sort of line that there's there, and then it comes up. They rebuilt, must have been from that bit. So what happened in World War II, you might have remembered I mentioned this before, a bomb went off on our farm, and the vibrations of the bomb caused this wall to collapse, this piece here. But because of the shortage of cement in World War II, they only rebuilt it to that low height because they didn't have any more cement. And that is why that section of the wall is lower than the rest. So there you go, there's a fascinating fact about the walls on this farm. Right, I'm going to go and have my lunch now. I hope you've enjoyed our wall video. It's just little things, isn't it? Stories that go with you. I know about the bomb story and about the tanker, and you think those are stories that are just in me. When I'm gone, they don't exist, apart from on this video. Anyway, there you go. Crack on. We never know, we might see Nigel again in another video, doing another wall.